Alrighty, I believe we are live now. I apologize for the tardiness, a couple seconds late here, but thank you for joining me this fine Saturday evening. Stream will probably go maybe about an hour, maybe a little bit over, because we got a filing to get through here. Now, there have been about 3 or 4 filings since the last stream that I did, and the most significant ones are there's 2 that I would consider of those 4 to be really significant, because 2 of them are just like 1-page filings to kind of show that these other filings were put in. And that would be this first filing here, which I'm not really going to go over because I don't, a lot of what is in this first filing is reiterated in the second filing, which is a little bit more substantial, in my opinion, which I will go over here in just a moment. So with the first filing, just so that you all know, the first filing here is really a motion. That says I'm not really going to go over it because a lot of what's in this motion is again reiterated. A lot of what was put in here was reiterated in the second filing, which I think is much more significant because it contains Delirious's declaration, which he goes ahead and provides. He goes ahead and his attorneys went ahead and provided quite a bit of evidence in that particular filing. So that's the one we'll be going over. Just bear with me one moment here, and we'll get to it. Let me find that file here, and here it is. So this is the first one. This is the motion of reconsideration. Now this is, prior to in the last stream, I talked about the next step would be them doing a CMC. I had forgotten to mention that there also could be whatever last minute motions can be filed are going to be filed, stuff like this, like a motion of reconsideration on the part of Delirious, as you can see here. And what this basically boils down to is him arguing that a lot of what was in the previous filings, especially regarding Ohm's filings, were not entirely accurate, right? And that we'll go into more detail with that in Delirious's declaration here, because it kind of fleshes that out a bit more in this declaration here. So I'm going to go over here. So here we have the declaration with evidence. Okay. And this is Delirious's declaration. It says, I am over 18 years of age and am an individually named defendant in the captioned action. The declaration is being provided in support for the motion of the motion for the reconsideration of this court's December 14th, 2022 memorandum opinion in order denying the motion to dismiss for lack of personal jurisdiction and improper venue, or alternatively, the transfer venue motion. The facts stated herein are within my own personal knowledge, and if called upon to testify, I could and would testify competently thereto. So it says, I understand from reviewing the court's memorandum opinion order issued on December 14, 2022, that the court based its ruling denying my motion to dismiss largely upon its findings, and I purportedly outed, and obviously he's saying Ohm's real name there, as Ohmwrecker to millions of my followers, and that I then published his home address, directed those who saw my post to threaten him, which the court characterized as doxing. I also understand that in reaching this conclusion, the court relied largely upon a single piece of evidence included for the first time in plaintiff's reply and plaintiff's assertions therein, that I somehow found plaintiff's Illinois home address, full name, and multiple photographs of him, and then repeatedly posted plaintiff's private information across the internet while encouraging violence and harassment from my followers, numbering upwards of 13.3 millions on social media. The single piece of evidence supporting this allegation, which is embedded in plaintiff's reply, is a direct message from Hopper98 to at Angel Pray Tell, which includes a link to a page on a website titled The Kiwi Farms, which included a thread page about plaintiff that, among other things, detailed numerous events, allegations, and accusations that have been made by various third parties against plaintiff over the course of many years, as well as personal information about plaintiff, such as his name and home address and photos here and after Kiwi Farms thread. So remember in the last filings we went over, right? It was really the only thing that Ohm's lawyers shared was the was some DMs, right? Some DMs between this account that Delirious had, the Hopper 98 account, which he does admit to it being his, even in this filing, to this person, where it was a DM where he basically linked the Kiwi Farms page, and also, where he said the unnice things about Ohm, right? The mean things about Ohm, right? Saying that he's not a good guy. He's not a good dude, can't be trusted, and whatever. Because he's done a lot of dirty stuff. So it is my understanding that Kiwi Farms is an internet forum website that, among other things, facilitates public discussions of online figures and communities, and similar to Wikipedia and or public forum sites, can be updated or revised at any time by anyone with internet access. It is my understanding that in plaintiff's reply, he characterizes the Kiwi Farms thread that all of the personal information about plaintiff therein, including but not limited to his full name and home address, as being published by me. See document number 35, page 7 through 8, and the court accepted these allegations as true. However, these accusations and allegations, including the allegations that I outed plaintiff's identity and or published any of the information about plaintiff contained on the Kiwi Farms thread, are demonstrably false. Contrary to plaintiff's assertion, he has not kept his real name or true identity a secret online. Beginning in or about 2001, plaintiff was the owner and operator of a website titled Invisible Dream, in which he published gaming content on his Invisible Dream website. Plaintiff published a staff page which listed him as the president, CEO, programmer, editor-in-chief, and included his true name and the handle he was using at the time, the Mystic, as well as a photo of himself, his birth month, year, and his location in Chicagoland, Illinois, United States. A true and correct redacted copy of a Wayback Machine link showing a plaintiff's self-published Invisible Dream staff page and information on April 2nd, 2004 is attached hereto as Exhibit A and is incorporated herein as those set forth in full. Additionally, in 2012, plaintiff wrote and published video game reviews online and posted them to his various social media accounts and identified himself using his real name and current gaming handle. Obviously that's his real name, Ohmwrecker, and a true and correct copy of a Wayback Machine link shows a video game review written by plaintiff on May 25th, 2012 for a company called Voodoo Extreme and posted by using his real name and current gaming handle as, so-and-so Ohmwrecker on his social media accounts, Twitter, YouTube, and Steam, as attached here to as Exhibit B and is incorporated herein as those set forth in full. Furthermore, a true and correct copy of a Wayback Machine link of a plaintiff's Twitter account dated January 18, 2013 shows the plaintiff's first name as, and obviously puts his real name, previously appeared as part of his Twitter account handle. Ohmwrecker is attached here to as Exhibit C and is incorporated herein as those set forth in full. Furthermore, a current online search for plaintiff using his handle Ohmwrecker will find a YouTuber wiki bio page, and they link that page, which I believe also existed prior to all this kerfuffle, which reveals a plaintiff's real name, date of birth, zodiac sign, and city and state of residence, as well as other online names he has used. A true and correct copy, correct redacted copy of this wiki bio page regarding plaintiff is attached here to as Exhibit D and is incorporated herein as those set forth in full. It is my understanding the plaintiff alleges in his complaint that the dispute between us arose in or about March through May 2021. However, further evidence of the plaintiff's identity was not a secret and was well known as being disclosed by third parties online well before a dispute even arose is a tweet thread posted by a third-party account named Captain K Fool on July 1st, 2020, identifying plaintiff as, and they obviously doxed Ohm on Twitter. And all of this, what we're about to see, everything that is talked about, that is mentioned in this document, he does provide, his lawyers did provide screenshots for. They did provide evidence of all the stuff that predates this whole situation with Ohm, which I think is that's a good move, I think, on his attorney's parts, is to show that proof and to establish that long before Delirious was ever involved, his stuff was out there. But I know some of you may think like, well, who cares if like random people are putting his real name out there, right? A few bad actors, right? That, the argument could still possibly be made that Delirious, broadcasted it even further, right? Or at least signal boosted it, right? Even though I'm not entirely convinced of that, because a lot of what Delirious did, remember, the gay ops that Delirious was doing were really in private, more than anything else. There was never a point in time, at least again, outside of name dropping his girlfriend publicly. He pretty much, at least in terms of Twitter, but maybe, you know, potentially maybe in other social media spaces, you know, he really didn't go out of his way, at least on like Twitter that I can see, or any of the other social media pages that I'm aware of, go out of his way to dox Ohm himself publicly. Now, I think it's possible. I believe he might have done it in some chats and stuff like that. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know, but I believe Ohm did the same thing though with him. So, you know, tomato, I guess. But let's see. Disclosing player's birthday. A true and correct redacted copy of July 1st, 20. Okay. As the Kiwi Farms thread, I did not originate the thread, nor have I ever added any content thereto, including but not limited to publishing plaintiff's name, address, and or photos of him contained therein. In fact, a search for the link online reveals that the Kiwi Farms thread on plaintiff was created on or about May 18th, 2018. And this is verifiably true, right? The May 1st, 2018, approximately 3 years before plaintiff alleges our dispute even arose. And that's a real good point for them to bring up, that this was live for years before, you know, any shit ever went down between them, right? And he does provide the evidence of that. So, we'll continue on here. In fact, it was plaintiff himself who first informed me about the Kiwi Farms thread about him in or about 2018, during a time when he was having a dispute with another gamer named Bryce McQuaid. Plaintiff mentioned it to me numerous times thereafter, including in 2019, when he was in a dispute with a different gamer called Luke, who goes by the handle Cartoons. On January 25th, 2019, plaintiff communicated with me via direct message on Discord about a Twitter dispute he had gotten into with Cartoons, which resulted in plaintiff receiving negative messages and online hate that he said he needed to contain. In this communication, plaintiff stated that Toons doing this shit in public feeds them, the people that doxed me. They launched that thread the night that Toons and I clashed over Detroit on Twitter. Emphasis added. The thread the plaintiff is referring to in this communication is the Kiwi Farms thread, and plaintiff implied that he believed the Kiwi Farms thread was linked to his ongoing dispute with Cartoons. A true and correct copy of my January 25th, 2019 direct message communication with plaintiff is attached here to as Exhibit G and is incorporated herein as those set forth in full. And before anybody thinks, oh, he's throwing Cartoons on the bus, that's not what he's doing here. He's just citing something that happened, the events that happened, that he does provide evidence for, right? So, and in no way is he making the implication that somehow Cartoons is involved or anything like that. In or about June 2020, plaintiff was in another dispute, this time with members of a very well-known and popular group of gamers known as the Vanoss group, some of which, similar to the baseless accusations he has made about me, plaintiff accused of being groomers, predators, and or involved in the circulation of CP. On June 5th, 2020, plaintiff communicated with me via direct message about this dispute. During this communication, I tried to calm him down and told him that if he continues with his dispute with the Vanoss group, it will make it hard for anyone to trust you. And it would be another notch to be added to that wiki page, and you know that. The wiki page that I was referring to in my communication with plaintiff was the Kiwi Farms thread. So obviously what he's saying here is that, hey, listen, you should calm down and stop this shit that you're doing right now, because you know that the trolls are basically going to use it against you. They're going to weaponize it against you, which I believe they did end up updating the Kiwi Farms thread with all the shenanigans after that, right? Or at least in the comment section, people were talking about it. So the point I was making to plaintiff was to warn him that I believe this accusation against an ongoing dispute with the Vanoss group would cause more of their followers and other online supporters to post or add negative information about plaintiff on the Kiwi Farms thread, and or to continue to spread the Kiwi Farms thread to others online. In response, plaintiff stated, I don't care, and there's nothing on that page that worries me. Now that right there is significant, right? Because a lot of what we've seen, right, in regards to Ohm's claims about this whole thing, his whole concern, right, is, oh man, I can't eat, I can't sleep, I'm worried for my safety all the time. This is essentially lamenting the fact that this is ruined his life, right? That this whole thing somehow has taken such a massive toll on his life and his livelihood. But yet he didn't seem to show that much concern about it before, right? There's nothing on there that worried him. But then again, it could have just been bravado. It could have just been, trying to be Mr. Tough Guy home. Maybe it did the entire time, and maybe he was just, he was just trying to act tough online. It's possible. But this again, this will raise that question when it's time for either deposition, or again, if it makes it as far as an actual court trial where he gets on the stand, this is something he's going to be grilled on, where they're going to ask him, well, why wasn't it that much of a concern beforehand? Why all of a sudden now? Why is this such a big concern now? And I'm sure he'll try to argue, well, it's because it was broadcasted to a bigger audience. But so far, again, and maybe unless there's evidence that Ohm's lawyers are holding back that prove that there was this mass harassment campaign that happened that nobody knows about or nobody has seen at least any public evidence for, right? But he has something that might indicate that maybe there was something like that going on or planned in secret. All he has so far, and again, it could be that maybe Ohm's lawyers are just not showing all their cards, but the only thing that they've shown so far, at least in terms of these filings, has been a DM, right? A DM between an account, a burner account that Delirious had, and a random person online. That's it. A DM where he linked the Kiwi Farms thread. So, and again, like I said, maybe there's an ace of Ohm's lawyers' sleeves that they just haven't played yet. Who knows? After it became clear that the plaintiff was not going to stop pursuing his dispute with the Vanoss Group, and because I was not, nor did I want to be involved in the dispute, I told plaintiff, just leave me out of it, please. All I ask, a true and correct copy of this June 5th, 2020 direct message communication is attached here to as Exhibit H and is incorporated herein as those set forth in full. In fact, shortly thereafter, in direct response to plaintiff's ongoing dispute with members of the Vanoss Group, numerous negative posts about plaintiff began appearing on Twitter with numerous users, specifically referencing the Kiwi Farms thread, including the fact that it reveals plaintiff's personal information, included but not limited to the following. Of June 21st, 2020, a Twitter user named Rio at Super Dario Brothers 3 posted, Ohm is a great gamer. I enjoy his streams, but he's a pretty flawed and shitty friend. I've learned Google Kiwi Farms Ohmwrecker on June 28th, 2020. A Twitter user named Assassin Brave at Blood Owl 177 posted, Ohm loves drama. He always plays the victim. Look up Kiwi Farms Ohmwrecker. So here's just citing like tweets. And again, all these they do provide screenshots for, which I think that's one of the things that is important. And again, Ohm finally started posting significant evidence in the last one, but it wasn't great evidence. But I was like, all right, well, at least they're posting something. Well, in this one, I think that what's posted here and the way it's being presented, We'll get to my opinion on it in a bit, but it says here, Twitter username Josh at Jorio Gaming 00 posted. Let's see. By the looks of it, it seems like Ohm is the one who is starting petty crap. Kiwi Farms already got the video on him exposing him as a drama queen psychopath. Not to mention his treatment of Bryce. Ohm isn't someone to look up to. June 29, 2020, Twitter username Hansen posted, Google search Ohmwrecker Kiwi Farms. The page contains most of the drama Ohm has started along with sources. Twitter username Bloodwraith posted, I don't know much about Kiwi Farms, but what I've seen over the year, that's pretty much, they pretty much get it right. And what I'm seeing now about Ohm, it might as well be true. That mofo is a scum that will do anything. I guess I meant to say to bring attention to himself, starting drama and being a snake. July 1st, 2020, Twitter username Georgie. Tyler, bro, look at Kiwi Farm and look up Ohm. It'll reveal his real age. True and correct copies of the aforementioned and other negative Twitter posts referencing plaintiff Kiwi Farms thread are collectively attached here to as Exhibit I and incorporated herein as those set forth in full. Moreover, in connection with the aforementioned multiple disputes that plaintiff had and continues to have with other online gamers, plaintiff also became the subject of numerous YouTube videos long before our dispute arose, which have detailed those other disputes and caused plaintiff to receive online backlash, including but not limited to the continued posting and spread of Kiwi Farms threads. Some examples of these videos include, but are not limited to, the following. So before we get into the videos, remember we talked about this in the last stream. I said, and this is good. This is actually really good that Delirious's lawyers are doing this, because they're establishing something that is that kind of breaks the narrative, right, of Ohm's of what, you know, Ohm and his attorneys are trying to set, right? That the main narrative being that somehow, because of Delirious, this information was signal boosted, that it was solely because of Delirious that this was signal boosted to the point that it was, and as a result of that, it caused it caused the most amount of damage to Ohm and his decline, right? Well, what they're doing here in this filing is basically saying, no. Remember, we talked about this in the last stream. They're saying, no, his decline started and his problem started before our drama, right? And this to me it was the move to make. This is what you should have done, right? And the way they're presenting this, okay, the way they're presenting this is good, because you see it, right? They say on August 20th, 2019, a YouTube user with the account named David Jordan 3165 posted an 8-minute video titled "Ohmwrecker and Bryce Drama discussing plaintiff's previously mentioned disputes with fellow gamers Bryce McQuaid and cartoons." That video is still up, by the way. It's still live. As of this writing, this video has 102,694 views and 345 comments. The majority of comments following the video were not only negative comments about plaintiff, but also include mention and or direct links to Kiwi Farms thread. Okay, so what's the significance of putting the views, right? What's the significance of putting the views? The reason why this is significant, okay, and why it's significant for all the videos that are going to be cited in this, and why it was a smart move on the part of his attorneys to do this, is because it establishes that this amount of people saw this information, okay, and makes the case for, hey, look, you can say that you're saying that my client somehow spread this to his audience of 13.3 million people. You could say, you're saying that, you're making that claim, but you can't prove that 13.3 million people actually saw it, right? That it was actually broadcast to that many people, unless you have some kind of admission or some kind of proof that shows it. What this does is establish the fact that 102,000, right? 102,694 people saw this video and saw the information contained. Fact, right? Or at the very least, roughly this many people, right, saw this. You know, because people can go back and watch the same video more than once, but usually, I mean, the way YouTube works is like once you watch a video with one account, it kind of stops it at that number, right? So, but it's possible maybe somebody saw it from, somebody else saw this video from a different account, stuff like that. Could have been the same people, but we're getting at least a rough number of how many people saw this information, right? And could have spread the information contained within this video themselves, which has nothing to do with Delirious, because he's not the one that uploaded this video. The majority of the comments following the video were not only negative comments about plaintiff, but also include mention and or direct links to the Kiwi Farm threads. So think about that. Kiwi Farms thread, 102,694 people, 345 comments. True and correct copies of numerous contents, including reference and or links to Kiwi Farms thread, are collectively attached here too as Exhibit J, are incorporated herein as those set forth in full. On October 11th, 2020, a YouTuber user with the account named TJV, shout out to TJ, who has over 81,000 subscribers, posted a 12-minute video titled "Ohmwrecker Started Drama with Terrorizer," discussing plaintiffs' previously mentioned disputes with members of the Vanoss group, and specifically one member named Terrorizer. Video still live. This video, as of the writing, has 222,974 views and 2,319 comments. The majority of comments following the video were not only negative comments about plaintiff, but also include mention and or direct links to the Kiwi Farm thread. True and correct copies of numerous comments, including reference and or links to the Kiwi Farm thread, are collectively attached hereto as Exhibit K and incorporated herein as those set forth in full. So again, this number, right? This number right here, the views number, breaking going against the narrative that was set forth beforehand, saying, look, this dude's problems, all this negativity, all the stuff that people are saying about him, including, harassment and threats, are established by drama that started prior to that happened with Delirious. Okay. And then you have, again, Kiwi Farms thread posted in the comments, right? Being spread around. On October 19th, 2020, a YouTube user with the account name Jay Dillon, who has over 20,000 subscribers, posted an approximately 6-minute video titled, "So I Was Wrong About Ohmwrecker," again discussing plaintiffs' previously mentioned disputes with gamers Bryce McQuaid and members of the Vanoss group. Video still live. This video is, as of writing, has 83,585 views and 566 comments. Again, the majority of comments following the video were not only negative comments about plaintiff, but also included mention and or direct links to the Kiwi Farms thread. True and correct copies of numerous comments, including references and or links to the Kiwi Farms threads, are collectively attached here too as Exhibit L, are incorporated here and set forth in full. And remember, these dates are all prior to when it came to a head between him and Delirious. On October 27th, 2020, YouTube account user Jay Dillon posted another video approximately 7 minutes long titled "The Ohmwrecker Drama Nobody Wants to Talk About," specifically talking about the Kiwi Farms thread and discussing many of the accusations made herein. They linked the video. The video, as of this writing, has 131,644 views and 1,026 comments. In fact, the poster shows the specific link to the Kiwi Farm thread in the video to all of the thousands of viewers and subscribers. Now, this is really, really, really significant, okay? Because it establishes that 131,644 people saw the direct link to the Kiwi Farms thread. And you're probably wondering, okay, well, what does that mean? Did they show the page? No. It's not that they saw the page. I'm going to scroll down here real quick, and we'll get back to this too. It's not that they saw the direct page. It's that in his video, Jay Dillon literally posted the entire URL to the thread in his video. Okay? The entire thing. Look, not a cutoff URL, the entire URL right there. So even if he doesn't link it right in the description of his video, it doesn't matter. Anybody who wants to find it, they just got to type it in. Pause the video, type it in. It'll take them directly to it. Take them directly to it. Right there. 40 seconds into the video. By the way, this video is still live. All these videos mentioned, they're still live. So that to me, that was one of the best things that they pointed out in this document. That is significant because, again, you don't have a situation where you're guesstimating or trying to speculate on how many people might have seen something, right? You're making the allegation against Delirious, 13.3 million subscribers, and he broadcasted to them, but you don't have anything directly showing that, right? Where you have something where you have an instance of somebody, not Delirious, directly pointing people to that Kiwi Farms thread, really broadcasting it to a number that is actually attached to it, right? The 131K plus people that saw it. So that's a really, really good argument that they're making here, right? For this, and not just a good argument. It was a great thing to put on this filing, right? To show. So it says here, in fact, this poster shows, to all of his thousands of viewers and subscribers, a true and correct copy of a screenshot showing the link. We already saw it. And is incorporated. The majority of the comments following the video were negative comments about plaintiff related to the accusations made against him in the Kiwi Farms thread, indicating that many of the viewers had followed the link and reviewed the Kiwi Farms thread. True and correct copies of numerous negative comments posted about plaintiff below the video are collectively attached here to as exhibit and are incorporated herein as those set forth in full. As detailed above, plaintiff's identity has been well known online for many years, and plaintiff has been involved in numerous disputes with other gamers and groups of gamers over the last few years, including other disputes involving plaintiff accusing other gamers of being groomers, predators, and or being involved in the circulation of CP, which appear to be common accusations of plaintiff's dispute with other gamers. Further, all of these other disputes resulted in online backlash against plaintiff, including but not limited to negative posts, comments, and or videos being published about plaintiff, many of which include direct reference and links to the Kiwi Farms thread. The online negativity and backlash that the plaintiff has received from third parties as a result of these numerous disputes, including the publication and spread of the Kiwi Farms thread and all of the personal information about plaintiff contained therein, clearly predated our dispute and this lawsuit. And that, round of applause, because that is a good way to argue all this. And this is probably the best filing that Delirious's attorneys have made yet. This is the best filing they've made. So I don't know if they were holding back before and maybe they were just not wanting to show their hand a little bit. And also, look, the same could be said about Ohm's side. Maybe they're waiting to see what Delirious' side would show. Maybe they have something that completely destroys this, right? That actually proves unequivocally that somehow, some way, Delirious put it out there. Now, I don't recall when they were having their drama, him ever tweeting anything out there to that effect. But it's not to say that he didn't do it on another social media platform, for all I know, right? Maybe there's proof of him doing it on Instagram or something. I don't know. But as of right now, it's not anything I've seen. So, and here we go. We go back to the DM, right? As far as the single direct message the plaintiff relied upon in his SIR reply, while I did send this direct message to @Angel Praytel using a short-term alternative account, it should be noted that the account I used had 0 followers. Very good point. And the reference message was a private, another really good point, not public, direct message sent to another gamer who I had a pre-existing relationship with. Further, my message only shared a link to the public Kiwi Farms thread, which happened to contain plaintiff's personal information, among other things. Remember how I said that in the previous stream, he could argue that, look, I shared the Kiwi Farms thread that happened to have all the other information, right? And that's what he's doing here. It was not an actual publication of plaintiff's address or personal information by me. Moreover, from my prior communication with @Angel Praytel, I'm aware that she is a resident of the state of Hawaii and not Illinois. And here we have where it's closed out, right? As I previously stated above, I did not originate the Kiwi Farms thread, which pre-existed the dispute between plaintiff and I by many years, nor have I ever added any content thereto, including, but not limited to, publishing plaintiff's real name, address, and or any photos of him contained therein. In fact, I have never typed out and directly posted, emailed, or direct message plaintiff's home address to anyone or mentioned it in any public forum. And contrary to plaintiff's claims, I have never directed or encouraged any of my fans and or followers to harass or threaten plaintiff in Illinois or any state. I declare under penalty of perjury under the law of the United States of America that the foregoing is true and correct. And look, as far as what is publicly available or what has been publicly available, outside of name dropping the girlfriend, right? Outside of name dropping the girlfriend, yeah, I haven't seen anything. So, I mean, this is at least, and again, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. It could be out there. Maybe it's an ace up Ohm's attorney's sleeves. But as far as I know, it doesn't exist. I haven't seen anything publicly. So what he's saying here is true as of right now, as of so far, right? Up to this point, what he's saying is true. And here we have like the exhibits, right? And I redacted these just so you all know. The highlights were done by, I assume, his attorneys and stuff. But this is, I redacted the stuff with Ohm's stuff. I even redacted his picture yet again. So this is the website that they're talking about where he himself this was, back in like, the early 2000s, Ohm's old website where he put himself out there, right? Then when he worked doing reviews and such, where he put his name as, his name, and then that's where he switched it to Ohmwrecker, his Twitter, where he did have his full, or his, at least his first name available, the wiki page that he was talking about prior to that has some of his personal information in it that again also predates their whole situation. Then we have the tweets when they were talking about the Captain K Fool guy that was putting out his docs. Right? This was back in June of 2020 that this guy was doing this, right? And then the Kiwi Farms thread, of course, May 1st, 2018. They post that in there. And these are the DMs between Ohm and Delirious, right? Where he's saying, you see here, yes, I'm trying to contain all this shit Toon started. As my mods and supposedly community discords are talking with Toons ignoring me. He said some shit in my stream when I started. I had no idea. They made a jab on Twitter, then was salty in his caffeine stream. So these community people with their own discords have been talking all night. You see Delirious respond to him. I really wouldn't care about it if I were you, as in ignore it. And then he says, did you know that there was 100+ person server dedicated to the troll campaign going on against Wings of Redemption? It was just exposed. Toons doing this shit public feeds them. The people that doxed me, they launched that thread that night that Toons and I clashed over Detroit on Twitter. I spent all night trying to reach him. I've pulled the Bryce card now. I'm sure he will tell you. I told him I want an apology by tomorrow afternoon. If he doesn't, I'm cutting ties. I don't care if it means we're all never playing again. I'm not having someone I considered a friend do this shit from the Twitter job to self-promoting in my stream and being sassy about me playing it when I wasn't aware. Plus supposedly carrying over pissy talk from the caffeine stream when I know the caffeine CEO and staff were there. I have a deal with them too, and if he made the CEO think there's a problem, it hurts us both. I don't get his ass a fucking like what 500K deal, no kickback to me or anything, so he could shit on me on the platform. I don't know exactly what he said, but the community seems to suggest it was something. And then I didn't know he was streaming during the day. I didn't give two shits when he was streaming, nor should he care. When I streamed RE7 fucking daytime too. He has no right to control what I play, but he supposedly said that shit live on caffeine. Fucking asshole. The CEO watches every stream, and I got him a fucking $500,000 deal. 38D would not have eaten over 100K of that. I got nothing but helping a friend. F him. Then we have more. These are more of the DMs between them, which I believe, if I remember correctly, Delirious did share these. Back when he still had his Twitter, I believe. He shared some of these back when he still had his Twitter. So it says here, we have clearly biased and toxic people faking support of anti-bullying, mental health awareness, social justice, solving racism, solving it, etc. Marcel has a charity. Now, this is when he's talking about the Vanoss group, right? Which someone told me, claiming he did it for his immigration to the UK to show he had been doing things of value. He got press, met the mayor, etc. This is a while back. He has the stupid ass anti-bullying campaign. Are you for real? This will make it hard for anyone to trust you and add another notch to be added to that wiki page. And you know that. And he says, I don't care. Yes, you do. I am of good character. My history speaks for itself. That's questionable, right? No, I really don't. I fully expect it. I don't care. So he reiterates the sentiment not once, but twice. And again, look, it's not to say that he was just acting tough, right? He could have really legitimately been concerned, right? But again, it'll be interesting to see how he answers this if he's deposed, because this is going to come up. The whole idea is like, well, you said you didn't seem too concerned about it beforehand, and there was people that were spreading it much more widespread than our client. That we can show. We actually have something that indicates at least, roughly an amount of people that saw this, that either went to it or at least saw this information themselves, right? So it says, there's nothing on that page that worries me. And they tried their best to dig anything they could and literally had to make up some bullshit because they couldn't find shit. Hide it. I complain when they harass people that aren't me. I complain when friends like you blast it to the group. Just leave me out of it, please. All I ask. But I know what's right in that shit. I know what's wrong. I would seriously laugh my ass off if Marcel, Wildcat, etc. tried to use that because it would come back to them so effing hard. The site literally is tied to the Christchurch shooter deaths of transgender and gay folks, racist ideals, radicalization, terroristic threats towards the governor, etc. Like holy F, if they tried to ally up with doxers with that level of hate, it would be hilarious, especially after there are videos of them with the same attitudes. They would get dragged, not even counting the doxing aspect. Delirious. Guess what? I didn't. Never in my life, and nor did my friends. And I had some different friends at some point in my life. Metalheads, friends in the punk scene, industrial music fans. I have plenty of internet history. Guess what? If anything like that was there, the trolls would have found it because they scrubbed my life harder than probably a private investigator ever could. So here we have, okay, so this is an issue for him too, right? Which again, this is something that this is something that his lawyers are going to harp on if they end up deposing him, right? Him saying this too. I have plenty of internet history. So they're going to be like, what did you mean by that? You have plenty of internet history. Can you elaborate a bit for us? So if you had plenty of internet history beforehand, then why are you concerned? Why are you concerned now that your information was out there? When you yourself say, hey, I have plenty of internet history. You had a site out there with your name on it, with your full name on it, and with some of your personal information on it. Maybe not necessarily where you lived, but at least the state that you lived in, right? So why weren't you concerned when these other YouTube channels who had videos that reached well within to the 6-figure mark were spreading this information? Why didn't you go after any of them? Because it seems like at least if you want to combine some of these numbers, right, it would easily equal well over, 500,000 people, right, that saw this information in some capacity, roughly, maybe, estimate. But at the very least, well over 300,000 people, right, could be argued, or close to 300,000 people. So what was the concern then? So these are just like screenshots of the tweets. People saying Kiwi Farms Ohmwrecker, people telling others. And here's where it's interesting too, right? Where they show in the comment section of some of these videos that were referenced, you see people linking the Kiwi Farms, right? People linking the Kiwi Farms thread, as well as, people talking trash about Ohm, saying F Ohm and stuff like that, more right here, this is on TJ's video, right? People saying to unsubscribe to Ohm, right? And time to unsubscribe to Ohm. Damn, now I got to unsubscribe to Ohm. Unsubscribe to Ohmwrecker. Unsubscribe. So again, based on the dates when these videos came out, again, this all predates his drama with Delirious, okay? Because again, all the videos referenced, and I'll show you all the videos in question here now, right? See people saying F Ohm, F Ohm, F Ohmwrecker, almost crap, stuff like that. What's surprising, right? What is really interesting, right, is that you don't see any threats towards Ohm, right? But he claims his life has been threatened. And I'm not saying that his life hasn't been threatened. I'm sure maybe there have been people that have hit him up with some heinous stuff. But how interesting it is that none of that is in the filings, right? That his life was threatened, right? He says that his dog was threatened. And I'm sure he probably has something that maybe, I'm pretty sure it's not a stretch, that he probably does have something where people are saying directly, that they're going to do stuff to him. It happens, I think, to every YouTuber that gets this big that has detractors. So I don't doubt it. But I think it would help to post all that, right? But again, maybe that's something that they're saving for a rainy day. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he has at least, or I'll try to give him the benefit of the doubt that he has plenty to prove that, right? But yeah, this is, to me, my opinion on this filing. This is a good filing. This is the best filing that his attorneys have had yet. Now, again, that doesn't mean, oh, hey, well, now Ohm's going to lose the case. No, because again, we never know how these things are going to play out. But this is a good filing on Delirious's attorney's part. This is probably the best filing they've made yet, and it provides stuff. It leads you somewhere that you can draw a better conclusion from in regards to what's been said, right? At least in terms of assertions being made and things like that. So let me show you guys. I'll share now. Some of these videos that you can see here. That again, all the videos mentioned are still live. Here's TJ's video. This was uploaded October 11th, 2020, right? October 11th, 2020. That's the viewership on it, right? So when he started the drama with Terrorizer, predates his whole situation with Delirious, okay? There's one, okay? Let's go to the next one, right? The other one that's referenced in this filing, okay? Which is this one by Jay Dillon, right? So I was wrong about Ohmwrecker. Still live on his channel. 83,628 views. Uploaded on October 19th, 2020. Still live. Okay. Now, this one, which I believe was one of the best pieces of evidence that they provided, probably the best, in my opinion. Right? Here we go. The best piece of evidence. Wait, why is my video there? Hold on. Let's go here. Sorry about that. Accidentally clicked on that. Check this out. This is the one right here. This one. The Ohmwrecker drama that nobody wants to talk about, right? 131,660 views. October 27th, 2020. Again, predates the situation with Delirious. Now, here's the more interesting thing about it, right? This video is not only still live,
so Ohmwrecker,
but if you go 40 seconds in, there you have it, right? The link to the Kiwi Farms thread. Still there. Okay. Which obviously, it was never taken down. It was never taken down. It's been there the entire time since it was uploaded. That predates the whole situation between Ohm and Delirious. Okay? The public situation between them, right? Predates all that. So to me, yeah, that's again, that kind of, I would say that is a pretty good job of destroying that narrative. Again, doesn't mean that now all of a sudden the pendulum swings in Delirious's favor. He's going to win the trial, but this is significant. This is a good argument. It's a good argument, right? They provided much better. They presented the evidence much better than Ohm's attorneys did. They presented it a bit more conclusively, in my opinion, than Ohm's attorneys did. But that, again, that doesn't mean that that still doesn't mean he's going to win the case. But for the reconsideration of dismissal, I think it'll definitely help at least some degree of reconsideration, I would think, but we'll see. I mean, we never know how these things are going to go. Like, the judge could still stand by what was said before, but given this new evidence, she might look at this and say, oh man, you know what? Yeah, it does appear that this guy's information was public knowledge beforehand, and it looks like it was other people that really widely distributed this information, that really widely broadcast this information. prior. And it looks like they did it more. It looks more conclusive that they did it, right? Because of the numbers. Because you can relate it to a number now. Whereas again, even though he's trying to say, well, look, Delirious has a following of 13.3 billion and he broadcasted to them. Did he though? Because I haven't seen anything in the filings and I didn't see anything publicly that shows that. But it's not to say, again, maybe this is what Ohm's attorneys have been waiting for. Maybe they have a smoking gun that proves that, right? Maybe they have that, and that's the card they're going to play next, right? In response to this, certainly within the realm of possibility. But as of right now, as of this moment, it looks like, again, in my opinion, this is the best argument that's been made on Delirious' side so far, and it's a much stronger argument than Ohm's attorneys made. Just my opinion. And again, just looking at it in that perspective, right? I think they're making a much better argument here. Because it felt like before, like Delirious's attorneys weren't addressing anything at all. They were just kind of like, they were just saying, well, what he's saying isn't true. Well, explain yourself. Well, no, what he's saying isn't true. But now finally they show something. So I don't know if they were waiting for this opportunity. I don't know what they were waiting for. Maybe what the strategy was to see the cards that Ohm was going to play first and then do this, which is absolutely possible because that's a game attorneys play too, right? They play this game of, all right, I'm going to play close to the vest. And when the time comes, when the right time comes, then I'm going to show the cards in my hand. So maybe that's what this was. I don't know. And again, maybe the same could be said for Ohm's attorneys. Maybe that's what they're waiting for now. Now that they've seen some of the cards that Delirious side is playing with, now they're like, okay, well now here, I see that, and I raise you with this. What was the name of the temporary account? The name of the temporary account was Hopper98. That was the temporary account that was being referred to, which Delirious did admit to it being him. He even admitted to it in this document that we just went over. So, he gave a little there, right? He's like, yeah, it was me, but I never shared that publicly. He's like, that was a private DM that I had with this person. And remember in the last stream, I said it. I said, that he could probably argue and say, well, look, I did share that link, right? But it's incidental that all his other personal information was in it. I just shared the link. I didn't actually share his docs. I mean, yeah, the link just happened to have his docs, and it happened to have a lot of his personal information. Now, mind you, that if you look at these filings, at no point is Delirious saying, well, I didn't know that it had his personal information. Because, he probably knew. Let's be honest here, right? What was the name of the accounts Ohm said was banned? There was a bunch. Apple Pie. There was a whole list of, but you got to remember something, right? Out of the ones that Delirious admitted to, there's still a lot of them that, again, could they have been Delirious? Yeah. But there's only, the ones that he admitted to more or less through Liz, I guess, were posted on her video. So, as far as any of the other ones beyond that, I don't know the exact names. I know the Ohm lied one, Pizza Pirate. I think Birdwatcher was one of the other ones, and a few others. But there was a wide net that was cast by Ohm when he decided to report a lot of these. So, I'm sure there was plenty of people whose accounts got banned that had nothing to do with any of this. They just, were jumping on that bandwagon just to mess with Ohm. So, let me see. Bowser says, and yet the link was shown on a video with hundreds of thousands of views and nothing happened. Exactly. And that, to me, that's one of the better arguments. One of the best arguments made, right? Because again, you have an actual number that you can attach it to, an actual number. You have something tangible that you can attach it to, right? You have the link in its full glory, and you have an estimate at the very least of the amount of people that saw it. That not only saw it, but went to it, possibly distributed it themselves. Because I mean, we don't know. Obviously, we can't say with any kind of certainty that the people that saw the video redistributed the link. But you got to imagine there was probably a good amount of them that did. But a lot of people also went to the link because they were curious. So to me, that again, you have a number to associate with his docs, right? That's a little bit more conclusive. Now again, we don't know for certain. We can never say with 100% certainty, but again, you have something you could tie to that. Whereas in what Ohm's attorneys are trying to do, they're trying to say, well, he has 13.3 million followers and he broadcast it to him, but yet he says that, but he doesn't really have anything that directly shows that, right? Well, no, he didn't do it with his main account, but he did it with all these alt accounts he did, right? Which again, he admitted to the one where he hit up the person where he sent the Kiwi Farms link, and that's it. And again, maybe there's something else, right? Maybe there's something else that shows it, that they're just waiting. He's waiting for his next filing to be like, bam, here it is. Chill said, had to ask because Liz mentioned saying all the accounts Dell had, but definitely probably left out some accounts on purpose. That proves my point. She lied. Maybe. Yeah. Well, there's no doubt. Look, we've talked about it before. Her video should have never made that video. Should have never made it. Honestly, it's not something that even needed to be addressed. Because if the whole plan was going to be to sue, which again, I think that gave, if anything, I would say and this is just me speculating. I can't say this beyond a reasonable doubt, but I would say the video that Liz made was probably a lot of the impetus for him to go ahead and sue, because it gave him something. It gave Ohm a little bit more of something that he could use, right? It gave him an admission by proxy. It gave Ohm an admission by proxy that he felt, oh, I could use this. You know what I mean? So for all we know, that video might have been the catalyst for this lawsuit, because it hand delivered Ohm an admission by proxy to do all this shit. So I wouldn't doubt if the video was the thing that finally made him say, you know what, I'm going to sue him. He just had his girl serve it up to me on a silver platter. I'm going to sue him. So, yeah. Well, the thing is, there might have not even been a case. And again, I'm just speculating on that, but the video might have been the biggest motivator for him to sue, because of the fact that she put it out there, right? She essentially was throwing him under the bus, but not only that, she gave him an admission by proxy to those accounts, right? So she gave him something. She basically hand delivered him something that he could use. The other stuff, I mean, look, he probably could have ended up subpoenaing, Twitter to get certain things, right? Regardless, but they made things a lot easier for him by addressing it with that video. They cut out a lot of work there for him. But yeah, I mean, look, that's where we're at. Would I say that Delirious has the upper hand now? No, but I would say that things are getting, not necessarily just yet, but I would definitely say things are a little bit more, I think things are a little bit more even keeled at this point. I would say that, it could really still go either way. It just depends on what the judge decides. If the judge is going to stand by the previous order, if she's going to say, you know what, upon, further consideration, I think I am going to grant the motion to dismiss. Unless you can provide, or maybe she'll give Ohmside an opportunity, unless you can provide something that conclusively can show that what he did did the most damage. Yeah, I think I am going to grant his order to dismiss. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. If not, like I said, what will end up happening is if it stands, then there might be maybe there's some other motions that they could file. I don't know. It just depends. Maybe there's some other motions that could be filed. But if not, then they'll go to that next step of basically getting together and doing whatever is the equivalent of a case management conference in Illinois. If it is called the case management conference, they'll do whatever that is or an equivalent to, and then they'll go from there. They'll go to the next stage. So, but yeah, there you have it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments for those of you that are just catching this video after the fact. And yeah, once I get another update, we'll go over that. We'll go over it. But I appreciate each and every one of you joining me this fine evening. Be on the lookout. I'm going to be doing, uploading some videos here in the future, but I'm also going to be possibly doing a live stream soon. Another live stream soon, another gaming live stream. So if you want to check that out, just be sure to have the notifications on. But if not, I'll catch you guys on the next one when I get to the next one. So, but that's where we're at as of right now. Thank you so much for joining me. Y'all have a wonderful evening.